All
right, we'll get started in just a moment here. Thanks, everyone.
A little bit. I actually took the road that goes to I don't know where that way.
We jump.
It goes to landfill, probably.
Okay, that makes sense because I saw some trash bins at the end. I made it like a little U-turn over there.
Okay.
It was
You
pretty.
going into the sand
I'm
dune?
monitoring
Pardon?
team.
You going into the sand dunes?
Yeah.
No, they went out there. They kept going.
Grab me with a good time.
All right. Brianna, can you see the slideshow all right online?
Yes.
Okay, great. And you don't see any pop-up screens or anything, right? Like the video window?
Correct. Yeah, it's just the slides and the owl camera.
Okay, perfect. All right. Thanks everybody for attending the quarter 2 now. Yeah. Keeler community meeting. So as you're all aware, we are required by the state water board and the administrative program to come meet with the community every quarter and provide updates on activities from the past quarter, financial updates, and then run through any feedback and questions from board or community members. So did want to check. I see we have one attendee online there. Who's that one under Zoom user? Is that Carol? Here, I saw them publish screen on just before, but sorry, we'll keep moving through. All right, well, just getting started on updates. Well, actually, sorry, brief agenda first. So items we'll run through are water quality updates, results from the sampling, pressing manganese, and then any incident reports, as well as updates on capital improvement project and planning, and then also financial updates and public Q&A at the end there. So I heard somebody unmute there. Was that Carol? Were you online? Not sure. Okay. We'll keep moving through. Just on a brief housekeeping notes, as everybody knows, yeah, we just said if you need to take a call, please keep your phones on silent. But if you need to take a call, just step outside. It's no issue. And then I think everybody's already done the sign-in sheet, so no problem there. And then we have anybody online. If you could just type your name in the chat, if possible, or maybe unmute at some point just to say who you are, so we can mark that down for the attendee list. That'd be great. All right, well, moving straight into. Sorry.
Hi, Fiona is online.
Oh, Fiona.
Hi, Fiona.
Hi, Fiona.
Hello, Karen.
Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate it. All right, we're moving straight into the water quality report. So for this quarter, manganese came back at 97. That is micrograms per liter. That is down from 120 last January. And then arsenic, big one, is down to 68. I believe that's down from about 82 last January. Yeah. So we did plot all of the past couple years of results on there for you as well, just so you can see the general trend how things have gone. It's staying, unfortunately, pretty consistent there on the arsenic side. Manganese has gone up, fluctuated a little bit more, but arsenic has stayed fairly seasonally consistent, I think. I think it's interesting. It did cap out at about 108 micrograms per liter and back in beginning of 2023. So, Andrew, I did want to note that for DDW and DFA that is 10 times over the MCL there. That's been a discussion that we've been having with the state, with access to certain funding, especially for bottled water. If there is a certain threshold that it goes that the arsenic levels go over, if that could qualify to keep bottled water funding continuing. But
Are we gonna talk about bottled water?
yeah, we'll touch on that in just a little bit. But just wanted to show the water quality results first there. Does anybody have any questions just on the arsenic and manganese? Everybody's unfortunately pretty used to seeing those type of results right now. But it is nice to see it going down a little bit on the arsenic side at 68. Right, moving straight into the field activity updates there for the quarter. So most of you would already be aware of most of these, but the reported incidents we've had, since I didn't include the January ones because we already touched on those previously our last meeting. But there was a leak at 195 Laws that was repaired by the ICS team that was determined while they were going around and build.
Oh, that was the big one.
Yeah,
Is that the big one?
that was the big one. Exactly. So yeah,
That's
Andrew, for reference, there was I don't know if you'd seen that. I think we might have showed the video to you, but there was an enormous leak. It was, I think they were saying 8,000 gallons a day
It
at
was
least.
10,000.
10,000?
24 hours.
Yeah, per day.
It's underground.
Exactly. And because the water table's so high here, it's such sandy sediment, it just absorbs straight.
Real permeable fluid.
Yeah.
You go right into it and it disappears.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was muddy and there was lots of mosquitoes and bugs.
Wow.
So making a nice home there.
Yeah, nobody lived there, so.
Ah, okay.
The
Yeah.
One behind Mark's house, are you talking about?
No.
Which one are you talking about?
So
At Jim's?
next door, not next door, but two down Bob's.
Bob.
Oh, Bob had it. Oh, yeah. His was bigger than the other one? His leak?
This was 10,000, Bob,
Oh
what I
my
heard.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Who's the other one?
Jim, didn't Jim have one on the corner up there?
I don't know if they
Is that the
Oh,
one?
no, he was actually just running the hose.
Yeah, that was the tap that was just running 24/7. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the other one I was going to touch on. Yeah, that one was thought to be a leak as well. That could have been enormous, but apparently it was just, he was running the tap since winter. It's trying to stop lines from
And
freezing.
he had hose on that in the garden too.
And what about Patridge's house? I thought there was one there. Larry
I
Patridge?
think they fixed
Larry?
that.
Yeah, they fixed that one up. Yeah, that was the big one, Larry. I think that was the one that was 10,000, wasn't it?
No.
Bob had a big one and
Larry's got fixed as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I remember.
Yeah,
They
the
were
two they worked on as far as
Yeah.
fix.
Yeah.
And then-
Yeah, so those were the ones that ICS had located. But since they've put in the meters, we have actually had a look at some of the water demand data that's been coming through.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting. It's
Join the board and you could see.
I can still see it.
so unfortunately, it is still very high at the moment. We don't have a full month's worth of data yet, so we'll see what it is at the end of April. But so far, even just since March 20th to now, it's been over 900,000 gallons in the system. So it's still extremely high. We did see, though, that there is about 10 to 12 connections that are making up about half of the demand.
So you can tell where it's.
You can tell exactly where a lot of the water is going. I know that one down on Old State Highway 598, it's that we had McMoore go out to the other day. That one is using almost, is it?
Oh, that was
3,000?
Yeah, 3,000 a day.
Who's that?
It's
Emily's
Allen.
Allen's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to
I went around and
Alan.
checked everything that we have out in the field.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Finding, you know.
No, nothing running, but even when you turn the valves off out in the outside, there's probably something under Alan's trailer.
Yeah, because we just went and checked the meter before, and it's ticking over pretty quickly.
Still?
So yeah, it's still going pretty quickly. And from the data that you can see, there is 2.5. Sorry, else is jumping on. Yeah, so from the meter data, you can see it's sitting at about 2.5 gallons per minute, just on constant running.
Ooh, does that
So-
mean there's a leak
It either indicates a leak or something is just being left on.
running on?
Yeah.
Wow.
So there
Or something cracked during the winter time, we didn't see
Something could have
it.
cracked.
Something's just
But
right.
it's, you know,
Something running.
Yeah.
Or a leak.
I think, and I think Alan knows that there's a leak
Mhm.
under his trailer. He does think, but I think that he's not capable of fixing it.
Okay.
Maybe not now. Maybe I can go ask him when I see him next time. If he wants to check it out. I think to find a leak, you can take something and put it up against the pipe,
Yeah,
and you can kind of hone in on about what the general area where the leak might be. If you can hear it, it's enough.
yeah.
So once you determine who's using all the water and for whatever reason,
Mhm.
you can let them know whether it's
Yeah.
their responsibility to fix it or yours.
Exactly.
Did
And
They will give you assistance.
majority of them are going to be the responsibility of the resident or owner because because ICS also, when they installed all the meters, they already checked all the connection points and they fixed any of the leaking ones when they installed those meters.
Okay.
So it shouldn't be at the connection points. We also had that leak detection survey completed. We got the results back from that one, and it said that there were none detected on the transmission main. So there's always a margin of error there, but that's what they found, and they're pretty confident that anything that is leaking would be on the customer side. So
Okay.
we're gonna
I guess, I mean,
Okay.
when when it comes down to if we still have an immense amount of water use,
Mhm.
then there's a chance we'll have to charge by water use. And I'm pretty sure most people don't want to. They like the flat rate.
Yeah. No, I mean, flat rates a lot easier to pay and a lot easier to, manage, well, to use as much water as you want. But it will be too difficult for the Keeler system to keep up with if people are just using infinite amounts of water or just not tackling leaks. And water needs to be used.
Less wear down the pump, fixing those leaks
Yeah.
too.
It's gonna put too much demand on the well and pump as well
Yeah.
for its lifespan.
I thought it was interesting though, in this, your report was that. Where, I mean, we used half as much last year as the year before.
Yeah, this amount still looks when we're looking at, so we don't have the full month yet, but April last year, it does look like it's reduced a couple 100,000 again. So that is a good sign, but it's still very high for 60 something active connection system, especially if there's 10 to 12 users that are using 50% of that.
Yeah.
Big thing. So we're planning on waiting till we have at least a month or two of data, and I'd like to send out notices or that information to the people whose residents those are. Let them know because they may not.
I mean, if we were one, we wouldn't know.
Yeah, exactly. So give everybody an opportunity to hopefully fix it, see if that trends down after that. And then, it would, of course, become a discussion with the board if they want to do another analysis on setting a volumetric rate. So,
Is there going to be a meter study? I mean, or are you watching it? You're studying it.
yeah, we are studying it. Yeah. So we're looking at also what the difference is between the well meter and then the total, well, the residential ones and commercial. So then we can see if there's any difference in there. There's obviously either a leak or there are connections that are unaccounted for and water is going elsewhere.
And so far, have you been able to determine?
So we only have a bit over 2 or 3 weeks of data, but it does look like there's a little discrepancy. Normally, there's always going to be something like 5 to 10%. That's what you want to keep it under of the difference, but it looks like it could be more. We're just gonna have to wait and see. It's not dramatic, like half the water is going somewhere else, but there definitely is discrepancy there. So I don't want to say how much there is just yet. I mean, because from that, it's somewhere between 80 to 100,000 right now. Could be missing from when it's leaving the well and then going to the rest of the meters. But we'll have a bit more accurate data once we see
What about the contract for the projects out there, that pipeline that goes out there when you turn that on or whatever?
Yeah, that's all being accounted for in there. Yeah.
I thought a couple of last year or something, they said they lost like 300,000 gallons or something like that. Did
Yeah.
they ever figure anything out about that?
No, there's someone over the fence and they just probably filled up a truck, couple trucks.
I don't think you're in truck more than 10,000 gallons running around here.
Yeah.
And most of them are about 8 or 10.
Yeah,
That'd be like 30 loads.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to be able to see now. If water is just being hauled out, you'll be able to see the difference.
Okay.
It's really, really useful information already. So as we keep compiling that, we're going to have a lot more accurate information to show you. But yeah, those 10 to 12 properties, we really want to start getting on top of and letting them know that their usage is a lot higher than everybody else's, because that one is about 3,000 per day, and the average American household uses about 300 gallons per day. So even some of these that are between 2 and 1,000 per day, it's still quite a bit. So some people may just be using a lot, but others may have these.
Our sink is leaking, so that's why I turned it off.
Yeah.
We might be using a little more than normal because we haven't turned it off.
This is by far the lowest user in the system. Out of curiosity, I was looking, sorting them all out, and I did see the fire.
It's much. It's
It's not. Oh yeah,
yeah. Like we're talking like there's a hole in the pipe. and
It's a
just-
stream, but it's not a hose. It's
Yeah.
just a stream.
Not a drip.
No, it's not a drip.
well, you know, I mean, that program to fix those leaks, it was so helpful.
Good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, they were a really good team. We're really happy with them.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
But also it is probably not all the leaks have been discovered. So it was like a short period of time.
Yeah, I think so. And then they were trying to get all the meters installed, so they weren't coming back and looking at all of them all the time. I think they were namely looking at ones where they were installing fixtures as well and making sure that they're getting on top of those. So they weren't able to address every leak on the residential side, but everything in the system, they looked at.
Tried for the same.
They didn't have time.
So they only did toilets and showers. So.
Oh, really?
Well, they looked at it
Oh, okay.
and then they said, "I've never seen anything like this," because I think it's really old.
Yeah.
So they didn't even want to touch it. They said, "We're not plumbers.
Yeah.
They were
Sure.
installers." So
Yeah.
they didn't. We're gonna have to call a plumber.
Okay. Yeah, that's understandable.
But I said, "It's wasting water. You're trying to help us conserve. This is like flowing." But they were kind of like, "Hey, we're just the workers."
Yeah. There's the installer guys.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear.
That's okay. We'll get it done eventually.
One other thing about the meters is that somehow we're going to need to get some more meters.
Yeah.
That match the system.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've already ordered one, like for the new connection that says on the plan work. That's actually already complete. That install for Mark Arnold down on Maud Street. So that was completed last week. And again, apologies to everybody about the shutdown there. We were not made aware. The system was not depressurized, but it was shut down. So some people would have lost service there. And
Yeah. So.
we were not informed before that. And so I spoke with the operators, and we need to be informed so we can let you all know before any of that happens. So noticeably for
But
sure.
If that company for some reason goes out of business that makes those meters, then the new meters that we put in won't match for our monitoring.
I would guess so, but I don't think Metron's going to be going out of business.
There's a lot of meters in California between now and 2030 or 33 or whatever.
2032. Yeah. We already ordered a new one, like for Mark Arnold's. McMoore put in a temporary service connection just so you could have some sort of water there. But then they're gonna, as soon as the meter arrives, they're gonna go stick that in as well. So McMoore can install them one by one. We just wanted to get the system done much bigger scale.
Confused. When you get new installs, are going to be different from the ones you just put in.
No, they'll be the same one.
Oh, okay.
And they're remote so that they send the information to the computer.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
so we don't have to have
Wi-Fi.
a reading.
Okay.
Yeah, they all use
So you don't have to
cellular.
physically read the
down.
meter. Yeah, it reduces error.
clean out the dirt.
Yeah. And reduces error
Close it.
popping in up and down.
From the office, did you shut everything down or?
No, we can't shut them down from here. They still have manual shutoffs. Yeah. So yeah, they're not
by-
quite there.
It's like electricity, you know, you
Yeah.
turn the electricity off from the office.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably bring that part up again though, but how we could manage to have some of those meters on hand.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, if that's something that board wants to, we definitely use
In
some
case
reserve.
Chris runs over a couple boxes with a backhoe or something like he usually does every year.
Then we should get them to refund those for sure. But yeah, so that's no issue there. Any operator would be able to order them as well. So we can also order
You know how
more.
much they are?
No, I don't know off the top of my head how much those ones are. Meters normally go for about 800 to 1,000. Typically, the AMI ones, yeah, I could say.
That's it, so
That's
anybody doing new construction is gonna have to buy a meter.
Correct. Yeah, that is the intention now, to have new meters included with a new connection fee as well. So they're just covering that and will be out of everybody else's pockets.
Oh, sorry. One more thing, just before we're on Mark Arnold. He asked about setting up account. I thought
Yeah,
he had
he
set
did.
up an account.
He gave us all of his details, so we're getting that set up with Gold.
Okay.
So he's being billed this month. Now that he has the connection, we just didn't want to hit him with a bill when he didn't have a
Okay.
connection in.
Cool.
Now that's done.
Are we billing him for a connection?
Yes. Yeah. So
Okay.
he's already aware of the cost there.
Okay. Great. And that was all on water quality.
What's that?
Oh, I mean, you.
Oh no, this is still on field activity. I guess last piece there on the valve exercising. So that was also completed by ICS. Move on to the capital improvements and planning. So meter installs were complete. We're continuing to monitor that data with a leak detection survey that was completed as well. And we have the findings there.
Valve exercising?
Yeah.
They exercised the one in our alley. And I was standing there ready to put the hose on so I could test our hose. And he said, you got a leak, so don't put the hose on. I said, what if we had a fire or something? He said, well, you could use it, but you're not gonna get as much pressure.
Yeah. Okay.
So when are they fixing those leaks, or are they? I don't know.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to get to now. So we have all of those have been inspected, logged, cleaned out as well. So right now there's at least one hydrant that we need to clear out access. I believe that's in the corner now, but there's a bunch of debris lever the blow off, and it's all one of the corners. Yeah, I think so. And there's just a lot of debris piled up that needs to be cleared out eventually, so that one can
How many
be.
fire hydrants do you have on your list if they exercise and check?
Let me pull up the exact number that we have. I know Karen mentioned, Bailey, that we might be a couple short there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there was some that they didn't do because they weren't on the list. I asked them, why'd you go past that one, or why'd you not check that valve out, or whatever, and they said it wasn't on the list.
Oh,
Because
okay.
of the old map, I guess.
Yeah, that would have been. They should have just done it anyways.
That map, I think they had was from 86 or 85 or something like that.
Yeah, that was one. Well, that was using the one that we've been working on. So we gave them all I think it was 13 of them on there. Give the
13
exact hydrants and blow-offs.
There's only 9 hydrants in town, and I don't know exactly how many fire stands there is. The blow-offs and the 2-inch lines are out in
Okay. Yeah, because of the hydrants, one needed access to be cleared, and then they said 8 of them need either repairs or a cap.
Those are the hydrants?
Yeah, or / blow-offs.
So ours is a blow off.
Okay.
We don't have the big.
Yeah.
You don't have a blow-off, you have a fire stand.
We have a stand, yeah, whatever you, I don't
There's
know.
a difference. Some of the blow-offs are 2-inch, and they're on that
Yeah.
as blow-offs.
So we just, we have that, and then that's separate
A
meters.
fire stand's an inch and a half.
Okay,
so
so
that's like
that's
blow-off.
what he said we have a leak on.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, we've got all those logged.
okay, so, well, let me know when it's fixed. That's not good.
Yeah, so with fixing those, big issue is that they came in, there was a really high cost basically to replace all the valves. That's why we wanted to have them all exercised, inspected first so that we could whittle it down. So we have 12 valves that need to be either fully repaired or replaced. And then 8 hydrants, which blow offs, they're going to need to be fixed. And now we're just going to look through how many of those need to be repaired versus replaced and see if we can at least get the ones that are just needing repair repaired, because the replacement ones, just the costs are astronomical at the moment. And KCSD just can't afford that right now. The cost for replacing all of them was 180,000 from one contractor and then 220 from another. And so it was
Is that replacing just the broken ones or replacing all?
That was replacing all of them.
Okay.
So now we'll discuss whittling that down, but even the mob demob, like basically getting all their equipment out here, the insurance for their crews, and everything covered was 30,000 alone for one of them, and then one was 25,000
For
just for getting the crew out here
Labor.
and
Like-
getting set up.
Just mobilization.
Just
Okay.
mobilization.
Oh, just
Yeah.
mobilization,
Yeah.
not the assessment that they did?
Yeah. No. The assessment's all completed. So that was just to get them out here to complete repairs. And that was from 2 different, we approached contractor out in Reno, and also ICS. ICS came a little bit more expensive, but still same ballpark. So
I know we're out here in the middle of nowhere, but it's so nice. They should pay us.
it is right. Well, that's where it was really helpful having this tied in with the DWR grant, because they paid under their grant for the entire mobilization out here. So all of that was
For
covered.
that ICS or?
Yeah, for ICS.
Where-
They're from actually down in LA, from just outside in the valley. Not Simi Valley.
Moreno.
Let's say it's Simi Valley
But
area.
the crew came from all over.
Yeah, they work all over California. So
Oh, okay. So nothing in Bakersfield. I mean, nothing closer.
no, we can.
Bakersfield's about the same. Same.
Yeah.
It's 3 hour drive.
These were just the first ones that we looked at, anyways. So
Yeah.
now that we have a more limited number, we're gonna see if we can get maybe a lower quote out of them and see about getting those repaired and replaced. Right now, as well, though, the State Water Board is going on basically its end of their accounting year coming up, and so they do put reimbursements on pause from May until beginning of July. And so for the grant, that's where we're getting all invoices in, everything we can by end of April. So KCSD is reimbursed in May whole. But then we want to keep costs in between that period of time as much to a minimum as possible. So KCSD account isn't drained.
No, because no reimbursements.
So, yeah, that's why we don't want to have, even if it's 80,000 or 100,000 to come out and replace all valves and hydrants that were flagged. We don't want to do that right in the middle of that pause, because either we're gonna have to get a contractor that's willing to wait
Wait
90
6
days or
months.
something for payment, or KCSD is gonna have to pay out of pocket and then be right down to bones, which we don't want to do.
Well, the heat of the summer is something that they probably don't want to turn the water system off. We've got
That's
comments about that.
there's that as well. Exactly. That was definitely an issue during some of the exercising.
But they did a really good job in keeping that under half a day.
Yeah.
That was
Thank you for the feedback on that as well, and making sure we could get it as condensed as possible.
Sure.
It's
Nice people. Good to work with.
they're really good
But
guys.
I kind of would like a map. I have this, I have these numbers of the valves.
Yeah.
But I would really appreciate to see how they relate, and because I see the,
Yeah, we have a map drawn up. I'll
Yeah,
send
the
that over to
map,
you.
all the maps I have, the numbers aren't the same as what they have, the numbers they have on their map.
Yeah, so we had to correct a bunch of the ones that they had versus what we had, and then the valve one was separate from the actual meter installs. We have one map that has everything on it and all the numbers, but it just looked like a headache, so we weren't sending that out or anything except to the contractors. They had a copy of that, but I can share a copy of that with you.
Okay.
Daily.
For our organization.
I do want the foreman a map that was drawn up by an expired chief from here, and it was 95, I think it was, the map was, and it was a lot more up to date than the 83 version.
Okay. Yeah, I'll I'll bring.
Some of the stuff on that 83, they never did complete, like it shows a water line going down Old State Highway, there is no water line going down Old State Highway.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah, because that was based off of all the ones that we've been going back and forth on drawing up. So they were still edits as we were working on those meter installs that had to keep on being made, you know, things that we were finding out about the LADWP connection versus Cerro Gordo, and then just where other ones are located and everything. So
Mhm.
it's definitely a work in progress.
But everything got GPS
Yeah.
located. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. But also on the fire stands, I think well, how did they determine what was high priority?
The fire stands weren't marked as high priority. The highest priority were the valves that basically connected or would block off larger chunks of town.
And
So they'd be able to
Isolate
isolate.
it.
I think that's important. I also think the town would probably say that the fire stands were high priority.
Yeah. Well, that's fair enough for firefighting.
and-
purposes. Yeah.
But, yeah, I guess I know.
The intention was to cover all the hydrants as well. So I didn't realize until after the fact that when they're gone, that there were some that were missed. We thought that we were covering all of them. We had marked them there. So they were on the lower priority because we want to make sure anything that is needed to make repairs and resolve emergencies, that those would be taken care of first. Then they
If
have-
somebody runs into a fire hydrant and they can't shut it off, it shuts the town off to fix it.
Well,
Yeah.
you still have if we get our isolation valves fixed. we'll be able to-
And sorry, the valves for the hydrants were included in the valve
Yeah.
exercising as high priority. Yeah. It was just the actual hydrants themselves and the blow-offs, actually exercising those and be sure that they could expel water, that those were on the lower priority. They still got done. All of them got completed
Only got
that we had on.
assessed.
Well, they with the hydrants, they did open up as many as they could.
But the repairs weren't
blows.
made if they needed them. right?
No, they just
Right.
marked them. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm saying when we get to the
They
hydrant,
would-
knock it
yeah.
over, they're gonna
Yeah.
shut the.
No, but I mean, even right now, if they're not working properly, we're not gonna be able to hook it up and get all the
They're
pressure.
left
we need.
open, they're left open, so the valves are left open, I think, I'm pretty sure, aren't they?
Well, whatever I have is leaking in the meter itself, the box.
Well, you're talking
So,
about the fire stand,
Yeah.
not the hydrant.
okay.
I'm saying somebody runs into a
Well, some of the
hydrant.
hydrants need, you're saying, so if somebody runs into it, which you're
Well, they can't shut
anticipating to
them off
happen?
because they're-
Okay.
You can't, you won't be able to shut it off with the valve, we're gonna have to shut the system, water system off somewhere
From the
to
street.
isolate that hydrant
Okay.
to
Well,
repair it.
let's hope nobody runs into it.
Hmm?
Let's hope nobody runs into it.
Well, I'm just saying, that's just if.
Well,
You're doing,
telling
you know.
look, they saved you a seat.
So if, so the assessment, we got a nice report out of it.
Yes.
Um,
We'll get that over to you. So it has the condition assessment of all the ones that they checked on. And then if there are the ones that Bailey's and there are missing, then just let us know. We'll just need to mark up where those are. Because I didn't realize that there is even any missing. We're just talking about the hydrants and the blow-offs.
and then, but the work on that will be not before the end of July, is that right?
Yeah, I don't see any way that we could proceed with getting those replaced or fixed right now without either KCSD taking on large-ish expenses and not being reimbursed for a while. That's
For the hydrants?
yeah. So saying that between for May and June, State Water Board has a basic funding freeze. They basically generate all their accounting for the following fiscal year.
Okay.
And so they don't do any reimbursements in that time. And so for any repairs or replacements of hydrants or valves, I would recommend holding off on any of those until July, just because any large expense isn't going to be reimbursed until after that date. And so would likely be
Not this long. and-
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it would likely be a bit of a reach for the Keeler account to manage.
Since you're on hydrants and things like that, I don't know. The the water box across from me that was broken.
Yeah.
Did McMoore fix that?
Yeah, that should be entirely fixed.
They just pushed dirt over it.
The one that I just looked at it today, it was open.
Open the box. It doesn't come into the box.
Oh,
I think they just push dirt over the temporary
that
fix
should
valve.
not have been the case.
So, because I kind of dug down into the box and the box hasn't moved at all. And I dug down into the box because I noticed that quarter turn valve wasn't sticking up anymore.
Uh-huh.
And from what I can tell, there's no pipe coming into the box. I think they just pushed dirt over the.
That should be
quarter
fully
turn.
connected to it.
So maybe I'm wrong, but that's how it looks without me moving the box. But they sure didn't dig up the box, and to replace that and fix it, they would have had to dig up the box.
Yeah, sorry, I just looked at it today and it looked clean and
Right.
tidied up.
Just
leveled
seeing
and
it every day, just 'cause I'm
Yeah.
right there, like it's still at the same angle. They didn't dig around it, and then when I opened the box, actually my kids opened the box. I looked in there and coming in from where the inlet is and the cut in the box, there's no pipe coming into the box that I can see. So
I think they
maybe
just capped it or something.
Yeah, is it?
they couldn't have capped it without cutting the quarter turn valve they did as the emergency fix in the first place. Otherwise, it would have flooded everything.
Mhm.
So
What's happening on that property? Is it being
it's
developed?
Fiona
anywhere?
Watson owns it.
Okay.
It's her property. It's
Yeah.
there's no development. She had it cleaned up a little bit, I think, just for sale value.
And it looks worse now than it did then, though.
Yeah, just Chris got hassled about cleaning it up.
And then the feet are going back.
Yeah,
That's
because he didn't have a chance to get in there and dig the rest of the roots out.
well,
But yeah,
Mhm.
well, and Creus or salt cedar will grow back.
yeah,
regardless
take
of
the
what you
roots
do.
out.
Yeah.
I've taken out 6 or 8 trees of Karens in the last, 3 months.
Mhm.
Completely dug out the roots and everything, not one of them's coming back.
But yeah, just
Yeah, no.
Good
Thank
to
you.
know.
That's frustrating. Thank you. Good to know. All right. Sorry, I'm just noting. Okay. Well, otherwise, just on the capital planning and improvement updates, just moving through here. Just on the consolidation, kind of JPA in your county discussions that we've been continuing to have. They're just basically have had the same tone that they're barely managing their systems right now, so they're not looking to take on any others. I'm curious, Andrew, if you've heard anything about this, but I know we are talking with the state water board about potential regional operators. And so that's something that I know we've all discussed at length for Inyo County that would be a major benefit for. Is there any, I guess, more thought that's gone into that on the water board side, or?
Nothing that I have information I can share.
Okay.
I know that within the next couple of weeks, there's gonna be meetings kicking off, but maybe not for Indian County.
Okay.
I think it's more NorCal, but that doesn't mean that it won't move to Inyo County or other parts of the state. Because I think they like to try stuff other places, and
Mhm.
if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
So,
has anybody reached out to Will Waddleton at all about seeing if he can kind of try to get involved and seeing if anybody trying to do the regional?
I haven't asked him about anything. I emailed him the other day just with updates on the meters and valves and everything, but I haven't asked him. Would he be directly involved with their water department? Because we've been working with.
So he not necessarily the water department, but I mean he's our county supervisor. But I mean he does he works with the waste management. He's on the board for the waste management,
Okay.
company in Lone Pine.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just as a.
Yeah, no, I know the big issue the big issue for the county is they only have a D1 operator themselves who basically contracts all work as well and is swamped with all their systems. So I know she has a hard time managing even just all their reporting.
So when you're talking about a regional water operator, would that be supplied by the state or just set up? How would that be set up?
I think that's the idea, but then it's like all contingent on funding, which right now I think the state water board, along with a lot of the government, is in like a not deficit, but like how do I want to word this? Funding allocations are shrinking kind of quickly. So they're having to pick and choose what they're gonna fund. There has been some interesting stuff recently where they're piloting stuff, like piloting new stuff statewide that makes you question like, oh, how much money is there available? So I don't know. That's my non-answer. Sorry, Yeah.
certain governors weren't lining their pockets with it, it wouldn't be a problem. Wait, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
So that is, yeah, where we said at the moment, just in terms of having any other entity come in and run Keeler. There's no,
Quick question, I didn't know it's on topic. Do you guys have a dedicated grant writer?
grunt writer.
How do you get your grants? I mean, because if there's something we can do, we try and get a grant, but we're not.
Yeah, we have a whole team that does basically
Mhm.
awards and proposals and pursuits of those things.
Projects, yeah.
And
You
for things directly for water systems, that's basically being our job. So I work directly on those grant submittals and proposals and everything. So
Okay.
O&M, bottled water, capital improvement funds, all
You
those.
fill out all that paperwork, that's part of your job?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you have any questions about it,
Thanks.
so also keep an eye out and ear to the ground for anything that pops up that's an opportunity, even if it's outside of anything we do, if it can benefit Keeler, always keep an ear out. So hence things like the water drought contingency or whichever it was, the small
Right, yeah.
DW, whatever it was called. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Where they were focusing just on metering. Saw that come up. GHD was running that one, but we were able to at least connect Keeler to it, which is really helpful.
That's very helpful.
Okay.
Right, so yeah, we already touched on the ICS valve and hydrant exercising. So just had some
And
pictures
you
there.
want us to update you on what we've been missed.
Yeah, so let me send over our entire log that I have as well, and the map that has all the corresponding actual exact locations. And then yeah, if you can take a look at that and see if there were other ones missed that weren't on that. But everything that is on our map was covered by them. Some were assessed and seen as totally non-functional, but they told us this needs to be replaced or repaired. And those are all indicated in the log there. So I'll make sure you guys have that. All right, so moving forward to the technical assistance update. So that's on basically the long-term solution for Keeler. So things we've been looking at, discussed this a bit last time, but basically looking at either a new well for Keeler, or treatment from the existing well. I mean, just a centralized treatment plant in town. We continued some of those discussions with BLM, but as we discussed last time, they have basically just said that there are a lot of conditions if there were to be any new well on BLM land. Big one is that no new water would be able to be extracted from the ground. So if that was going to happen, if there was going to be a new well drilled, they would want to see the Keeler well discontinued. And so that would be a big piece. Which the whole intention of drilling a new well would be to have this existing well as a reserve supply. And so that defeats a bit of that purpose. There's also concerns over they would want an environmental impact report for even a test well, which those can take up to a year in review.
2 to 3 years here.
Yeah, well, that's because you'd want it for the test well, and then you'd want it for the actual well.
Is that the Ridgecrest BLM office? That's
Bishop?
so we're under the Ridgecrest BLM office.
We've been working with the Bishop.
It like the line, are you sure? Well,
It stops at the Keeler Bridge, and it goes along the Owens River, comes down the Owens River for Bishop, stops at the Keeler Bridge, turns, and stays on that side of the river and the lake for Bishop. Everything from the Keeler Bridge and the Owens River, this side is all managed by Ridgecrest BLM.
In our discussions with them, they said that this falls just into their jurisdiction.
You may want to have them clarify, because that's why K2 mining project that's up here is being managed by the Ridgecrest BLM office.
Okay.
Is because this whole area and this whole side of the lake and the river is all underneath the Ridgecrest regional office.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting. The Keeler cemetery is under Ridgecrest.
Right.
But when we send in our payment for our well, it goes to Bishop.
Yeah, that's weird, because the cutoff line is the Keeler Bridge and the Owens River. It comes down the Owens River until Mazurka Canyon up in Independence. Down the Owens River comes down Mazurka Canyon, this side of Mazurka, comes down to the Owens River, all the way down Owens River to the Keeler Bridge, cuts across, and then everything on that side is Bishop. Everything from the Keeler Bridge this side is all Ridgecrest.
Okay.
And the only reason I know that is because I've gone to a couple of the meetings with the K2 stuff in town, and the Ridgecrest office has all of their outline stuff there, because that was my question at first with them was, isn't this Bishop? And they're like, no, this whole side, and this is the line, is cut over here, and this is all managed by Ridgecrest BLM. So it's interesting to me that they want environmental studies and they want wells turned off and things like that, yet they're going to let them drill 22 holes up here that are 3,000 feet deep.
Yeah.
And they're not even blinking an eye at it.
Yeah, that's completely opposite of what we've been told by their office.
Yeah.
And we've gone out and met with them, Bishop, with Larry, I'm blanking on his last name right now, but he's been out there for like 20, 30 years.
Oh, 40, he's a grumpy old man.
Yeah, I can't remember the guy's last name, but the BLM office manager or the BLM regional manager and Ridgecrest name, the first name is Peter.
Okay.
But maybe just something to ask them, because that's, unless they have some weird contingents because it's, township for Inyo County or something like that. They're, as far as I know, their cutoff line is the river.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's kind of, I mean, if we had to give up our other well, it would defeat the purpose.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a question,
What is that?
I think I brought this up last time. I don't remember what the answer was. Could we offer them the well that's here in town? Since I don't think that's ever been officially abandoned.
No, because it's about the actual usage that's coming from it.
Doesn't DWP own all underground water, basically?
I said could contest, that's under, I mean, they've had legal fights over that. No, they're not supposed to.
They own surface water.
Yes.
They own rights to, they don't own the water. They own the rights to the surface water.
Alice has her hand up online.
Alice, sir, if you could.
Yeah. Hello. I just want to let you guys know. When Arlen Dunn did his test pump, Larry Premish is who you're speaking of, right? Hamish Premish.
Yeah.
Yeah. He came to us. When we dealt with them, everything has to go through Victorville, through Lahontan and Victorville. So they would be involved with BLM out of Bishop and then Victorville, Lahontan. That's who Chip Porter, the geotechnical engineer for Arlen Dunn as well. He went down there, and then we had to go down there and meet. And then that's when he did the 7-week test pump and all that. So that would have to go through them.
Okay.
For an EIR.
Yeah.
Study for a new well. What about just drilling our well? Because the water was good at 180 to 200 feet, but they stopped at 125 because we couldn't afford to pump it up from that depth. Is there any way we could drill test well next to the one we have or in that area of where the well is now?
Yeah, there's potential there, but the big issue was that they'd want to do an EIR for even a test well. And so that's
okay. Then what about, pardon me?
because it's leased by BLM, or at least to BLM.
Okay, well, there's a possibility we could get that an EIR. Great Basin would do the EIR for us, and it wouldn't cost us a dime. Because I talked to her about that before.
Our well and BLM property?
And the old well here in town, it's capped. It's filled full of cement.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it only pumps 7 gallons a minute anyway. It was bad.
Okay.
Its water quality was really bad. Now, did get off the subject here real quick, back to the fire hydrants. Did Tyler send you the picture of the fire hydrant down there on Lincoln and Urington when he opened it up? Okay,
No.
well, normally it takes the fire hydrant or the end of the lines, the purge points, to about 30 seconds to a minute to clear. We ran that one for 3 minutes and it never cleared. So, and it ran and it had particulates in it. I mean, it was nasty. So I'll text Tyler and make sure he sends you that picture. It was bad. But we got down there. Noah, did you guys lose water last Wednesday?
Yep.
Okay, because we couldn't get Sarah's Alley shut off. That section there of between Lincoln and Lincoln and Franklin, that section of Sarah's Alley, we've never been able to turn that all the way off. And what happened was
we lost water when they turned the town off.
Okay, so they blew the hole out. You knew that, didn't you? Yeah, they blew the hole out, and Chris had to come down there and pull their piece of equipment, their little excavator out of the hole because it wound
Yeah,
up in the hole. They blew the whole thing out. So yeah, I guess it turned into a big mess because they forgot to go up and shut the pump off. So yeah, or it wouldn't have been such a mess. They still would have had water, but it wouldn't have been had the the 150 gallon pressure per minute hitting it. So,
Yeah,
but
so I
that
was
right,
saying this before. Please make sure before more we have communicated to them that they need to be making us aware before they're doing anything like that because we were unaware whenever Tyler was doing
Tyler,
that.
Tyler didn't call you. And
No,
I thought I
never
mentioned
received
it to you. I thought when I talked to you when I was down at my property, remember I called you and you called me back at lunchtime. I thought I told you that they couldn't get that alley off, that section off, and because we turned all the valves we could possibly turn and we couldn't get it off.
Yeah, but nobody had told me that they were
No, that
actually
they
turning anything
oh, okay,
off from
because
the
I didn't
system.
even know they turned the whole town off. I
Yeah,
knew it was a possibility, and Tyler was supposed to call you and Karen and let you guys know.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I
That's
came
a
back
change in
home.
communication. Yeah,
I
that's
came
a
back.
change in
Yeah, I came back
communication.
home. So
Yeah. So I spoke to their president as well and made sure that he knows that the communication needs to come to us straight away before they do anything, so that we can have it logged and then communicate to the town as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I didn't hear anything.
So when can you guys possibly get McMoore back out here to purge the system so we can get all this nasty water out of the lines?
They should be doing that monthly, so we can get them doing that next week.
Okay, that'd be great because they haven't done a complete purge yet. And that fire hydrant, like I said, down by there on the corner of Urington and by my old house, Urington and Lincoln, we ran that for at least 3 minutes and it was nasty. I never seen anything that bad. And when that alleyway flooded back there it flooded from Malone all the way down to Lincoln. And it is still not, the alley's not flooded anymore, but the water table's like 4 feet, 4.5 feet from the surface down there. When they excavated and uncovered the water line down there to put Mark's service in, yeah, the water, they had to keep pumping it. They stopped pumping and it filled up to the bottom of that pipe. So it was about 4 feet where's the water table's at down there. And there's gate valves down there that still are isolation valves that still have water standing in them. So there's water coming from somewhere. Then Larry was out here, Patrick, that lives on the corner there of Malone and Urington. He had septic, Bishop Septic came out. They pumped 200,000 gallons of clean water out of his septic.
Yeah, Larry contacted me about
and did he? Yeah, because he never has water in that septic. He's never here. And then there's a hole over from that septic that's never had water in it. It had water in it when Sarah's part of her meter blew out. Okay, and that was fixed. Well, once that was fixed, everything was fine. The hole was dry. Now it had so much water that the hole caved in, and it still got a little bit of water at the surface. So there is something going on somewhere because I called DWP and talked to the new guy that took over the lake project. It used to be Malad Tagahavi, and he retired. So the new guy talked to him, and he said that he didn't think there was any way that it could be groundwater for the way they set it up out there on the lake. But I don't know. But something's definitely going on that far alleyway, the last one in town.
All those meter boxes down there by Rogers' place on that section there. The first time we dug a hole, the water table was 6 inches from ground level.
yeah, it's nothing.
When I bought my lot down here, which has a septic tank on it before, it's never had anything hooked up until we have the trailers there. When I opened the tank for the first time, it was 3/4 full.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, Lynn over here that's building the little tiny home.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a sump hole dug right now. You can go look in it, and the water's only about 3 feet down.
Jeez.
And but yeah, he's got a sump hole dug because they wanted a groundwater test before he poured his pad, and so his hole's still open. You can go look in it, and there's only water about 3 feet down. So
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the gate valves down that have water in them, and that's what's weird because those never have had water in them before.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what the issue is.
Yeah,
I know ICS and McMoore have both looked at it, and McMoore's monitoring it as well, but
Okay.
continuously. But both of them have said that it appears to be the water table because they could not find any leak on the main. Now that we have the
so
meter deck,
weird.
we'll be able to keep an eye on it for any residential side
Okay.
before the
Yeah.
meters start
So
for the
something's going
transmission.
on. Something's still going on at our other house. We're going to go down there this weekend John had to work and stuff, so we haven't got down there yet. But yeah, the water's still no pressure down there. So maybe I got a leak going to the main from our water shutoff valve going to the main, or it's plugged on our side. So we're gonna go down this weekend and figure it out. I'll let you know what we find out. So, but yeah, something's going on because it was fine before they put the meter in. It was fine after they did the meter installation, but when they did the meter at the well site and shut the whole town off and did those, I think there was 3 or 4 services. They had to replace the curb stops.
Yeah.
After that, my water pressure is nothing down there now. And Craig next to me, his house is before mine. His is fine. Sarah's is fine, but mine isn't. So I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. So yeah.
Green now. Tap.
Well, speaking of the metering, just moving on to the what's next, just in that long-term planning. So PER is being reevaluated now to include those updated numbers as we get in, 2 or 3 months of water demand data. So that goal there is to have basically a centralized treatment, see if we can have it sized properly for the actual demand of the system now that we have that information. And then hopefully the intention there is to have, since demand will be lower sizing, then a more affordable centralized treatment that can be installed for Keeler. And then if the demand is still exponentially high, then we would look at having a split system as one of those options. It's all being included in that report there. So that'd be the bifurcated, having one irrigation and one as actual drinking water. And then drinking water would be the only one that's treated in that case. And yeah, we just have a map there that basically shows some of the previous wells that we're looking at with the done well, etc. But as you see that below, yeah, basically all that orangish shading is the entire BLM land, which basically does not leave any space at all, really, unless you're going to be miles and miles off outside of Keeler, which then creates more costs for pumping water in. So, just for reference, but all right. On the O&M funding, on the funding update side, so on O&M funds, there are still running Keeler O&M funds for Keeler, but we did submit an extension till end of 2027 for additional funds. That was primarily to account for the shutoffs. So there's actually going to be a little bit of extra funds in there since the shutoffs and meters are not going to be tackled by Keeler anymore. So we had.
You lost me. Start again.
So sorry, there were some additional shutoffs that were going to be included, that were originally included with the O&M funding when we submitted an amendment. But now, because those have all been covered by DWR, there's going to be some additional funds in there for Keeler to utilize for the O&M funds. Yeah, and also emergency response has been down a lot since last year was even down more from 2024. So there is still a good chunk of O&M funding in that remaining budget for Keeler. So we haven't expended it all, but basically the state wanted us to look at how much it would cost to keep O&M funds going until end of next year. And so we just increased a little bit to take Keeler to the end of there with O&M funding for now. So.
And that's different from the funding that Provost and Pritchard works from?
Yeah, no, we have a separate work plan just with the State Water Board for acting as administrator for water.
O&M fund pays the operator,
yeah.
and any emergency fixes is under O&M.
Okay, that's right, but no updates to the system. So the meter,
Yeah,
those aren't considered.
so replacements of some of the shutoffs and different things like that can be included. Any new meters will be now included with any new service connection fee as well, since we got all the active connections completed. But yeah, no major improvements can be made to the system under O&M funding. Which, yeah, if Andrew can change that, too. But, yeah, it's unfortunately how some of the funding requirements go. So that is operations and maintenance.
Yeah, I mean, and if we had a water operator, a local operator, it wouldn't cost as much.
Yeah, so that's later in some of the financial updates there. We can already touch on the bottled water updates. I guess we will actually discuss that a little bit more. But yeah, with the local operator, I mean, McMoore has been really good to us in that they have a contract with PG&E and Bishop, so they actually don't charge mileage to us. They just come in when they're going out to their PG&E sites. That's great, but yeah, they're about $2,500 per month or more. So there is a local operator, definitely is going to be cheaper, and we are open to any options with that because we always want to keep things as local as we can. And said right now, the county, I know I've worked with the bishop a bit. I know they have a few operators out there, but even they are pretty strung pretty tight in Bishop just for all the CSDs and little mutuals that they have through there as well.
It's already very busy.
Yeah. Yeah, they and also they work for the city, so they're not meant to be going out and freelancing for a CSD or anything, but it's definitely opportunity there. I just did want to touch on the bottled water program briefly. So that as it stands right now, that is the bottled water funding is on hold. It has not been renewed by the state water board. That is an overall statewide issue at the moment. That's discussions going on basically what qualifies, which systems qualify for bottled water funding. It's normally determined, it's basically determined by whether they're acute or chronic contaminants. So basically, if it's nitrates or bacteriological contamination, things that are going to harm people straight away, then that's seen as an acute contaminant. And otherwise, chronic contaminants are more long-term things that are going to be, and arsenic falls under those. So those conversations are still ongoing with DDW and DFA. But, our hope is that due to Keeler's situation, especially with arsenic being 8 times the MCL, that would qualify for bottled water funding. But as it stands right now, there is more grant funding right now for bottled water. So that is something that I want to discuss with the board right now.
So there's no more funding.
Not right now. No, the state has not extended that. Andrew, if you wanted to discuss that anymore, but
I feel for you guys. This has been all of my water systems with arsenic issues. They have cut off funding for it. So what I'm gonna try to do.
I don't think this is recorded.
I'm gonna try to work with our Division of Drinking Water to determine. The big issue is like the notices that go out. You guys get the unsafe water notices. Those notices say something along the lines of, "Hey, your water has arsenic. Be cautious." Something along those lines.
Don't drink the water.
Well, there is a do not drink notice, which is like if you have bacteria or you have nitrate and bacteria, it's like, hey, don't drink the water, find an alternative source. If you have something with nitrate over the MCL, we call that an acute contaminant, same as bacteria. It's, hey, find an alternative source of supply. So the issue is that arsenic isn't one of those ones that says, oh, go find an alternative source of supply. So our Division of Financial Assistance, like within the State Water Board, has been, I think funds are getting tight there. So that's why the change has happened kind of suddenly. And it's been for all of my systems, even ones with like federal administrative order on consents, which are the same thing as a compliance order that you guys have, but the feds issue it, but then they require, I'm giving you guys extra background.
That's good.
Feds require, as part of that AOC administrative order on consent, that the water system provides bottled water, but if they're a mutual water company, they're not allowed to, part of that also says they're not allowed to charge the customers for the bottled water, but it's a mutual water company. So then it's like, how does that make sense? Because it's the mutual, like people that live at the water system own the water system. It's been interesting going, I'm dealing with this for multiple systems.
So this may not be the right time, but you were saying you're going to talk to us here in the future, but I can't speak for everybody. I know, but in our house, we don't go through 60 gallons a month. I know you were saying the cost, what the cost was, but if we cut that in half, that extends, that doubles, what our funds are, especially if, there's a possibility of being reimbursed in the future. It's not a long-term thing, but if it was something that we could do temporarily and say, okay, well, we can allocate, $12,000, that would get us, we have the money.
we
we
could
could
6 months.
It's 3 or 4 months since I've accepted any water.
Yeah.
From the,
Yeah.
because I have so much stacked up already,
Right.
I'm trying to use it.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying though, is I mean, like we have the money in our account.
Mhm.
So, you know, if we cut it in half and only did 5 cases per household per month,
Yep.
temporarily, you know,
Well, who
You
came
know-
up with the 10 cases anyway?
That's the maximum that bottled water program.
So
will
they gave
hold.
us the match.
Yeah.
It
yeah.
Whether
could-
you have 2 people in your family or 6 people. in your
You could have
family.
up to 10, so most people just
Took the 10.
max, yeah.
so that's what I'm saying is as a board, if we wanted to
Mhm.
continue, because right now until funding restarts, if it restarts, if we want to continue giving bottled water, we have to eat it out of our board's costs.
Yeah, that's 2.
Right. But what I'm saying is, you know, if we could allocate a year's worth, right now it's about $2,000 a month with, you know, just the cost of the water. But if we cut that in half and allocated $12,000,
Mhm.
hopefully we wouldn't have to use all that, but we do have that money. So, you know, I mean, if we allocate it out for a year and said, okay, well, here's the money, we're gonna put this up. You know, I mean, that's kind of what the funds are there for, is for emergencies. And unfortunately, you know, the state tells us, hey, don't drink your water, but by the way, we're not gonna do anything about it. You know, and then we're gonna drag our feet to get you a solution. There's not much we can do there, you know. So I don't know, just as an option, that's something we'll have to vote on as a board, but you know, something to move forward to keep that water flowing. Because I'm sure most people in town have a stockpile.
Yeah.
But
They're smart to do. And if you guys didn't give us water for 2 months, I'm sure.
And there is a 2-year,
Everybody would be fine.
2-year, expiration date on that water too.
So, I mean, if my
Especially if you
neighbor
don't
had
have
trouble, I
fun,
could
yeah.
give them some water.
but
I mean, I like that idea.
Mhm.
so I mean, it's still, you know, it's still 30 gallons of water a month.
It's a lot.
And yeah. So I mean, unless you're just a really big water drinker, you know, unfortunately, I mean, I think the biggest family in town is probably Danny's family. And
Yours.
so no, Danny's got me beat. So
Okay.
I won. So
He's got a dog too. Oh, you got a couple dogs
yeah.
too.
but my dogs drink arsenic water. So
Well, and the other cost is, has been, transportation,
Yeah.
RCAC.
Yeah, so they've been all grunt covered, and we were able to help out today with deliveries because we're already out here and everything, but state's not going to have us come out monthly and be distributing water. So it's something that we can discuss if maybe for next month if the board wants to continue it. There are still 2 pallets in there.
Mhm.
I'm not sure exactly off the top
Because
of my head how many are in each pallet, but
We did
there's quite a
6 today unless people wanted the full 10. So there's a little bit left.
Yeah. bit. Yeah, so we're giving on average 30 gallons.
Well, when we were distributing before, and when the board was
There's 6,
doing
it's
the
36.
volunteering.
Yeah.
So we did, your board also
yeah.
ordered water and
Yeah, we did
delivered
pieces.
water.
You did 5 twice a month. That was
And that was a lot, twice a month. But most of the people who were doing volunteering are doing other things now. So, I
I
mean,
still have a stockpile. I was only getting five of them on myself. And I still had too much water.
you should drink more water.
Yeah,
You should
enough
I drink enough water.
Gallon a day is a lot of water for
It's a
one
lot.
person to drink. But
But anyway, what I'm just bringing up the point that we could get the water and then, we still need the volunteers to either
Mhm.
deliver or open it up. I mean, these guys deliver about half the water.
I mean, for a couple of months, I mean, I'm hesitant to say this, but I mean, for a couple of months, I mean, if I had some help, from some people in town, we could drop a pallet on one of my trailers and I can drive around town and have help unloading stuff. I mean, I've got that backhoe now. I can lift the pallet and drop the whole pallet on the trailer. So, and then drive it around and drop water off. Just keep a record of who's doing it. I mean, but it would be the same kind of thing as it is right now. If I were to do it, it would be okay. Here's 4 hours on a weekend day. For me, it would have to be a weekend day. Is who wants water? This is it. This is your one time.
Once a month.
Past that,
Well, I think we have to discuss it and
maybe we can do a special meeting in a week or so, something like that. And if you guys want to sit down on that.
Yeah, I see you have your hand up there.
Yeah, is there gonna be a gap period in between grant money? Is that what you're saying, for like 2 months? It's possible I can get Crystal Geyser to give us water for those 2 months.
Yeah, so they're for right now for bottled water, it's on pause indefinitely. We
Okay,
haven't
then I
seen.
will, then I can go to Crystal Geyser and I'll run over if nobody has any objections, I'll go over to Crystal Geyser and talk to Charlie. And I can't remember the other guy's name. Since John Luke works there, he's been with the company. He came here from France with the company, 7 years there. And then since they've been here since 1990, it shouldn't be an issue. We got water for Darwin several times. Al took me over. We loaded pallets on his trailer and we took it to Darwin when they didn't have water. So there,
And
I'm sure
Alice,
they probably step in.
If you could get them to step in and at least fill the container, if they'd fill the container once, even at 5 cases, that would last quite a while. I mean, we'd have to meter
Okay.
it, but I mean, I think we can fit 6 or 7 pallets in the container.
At least
I
6.
think.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I think there's 2 in there now, so if they were willing to donate, 4, 5, 6, 7 pallets, that would get us for a while. And
Okay, I can do that.
that would push us past 2 months. I mean, at least, and it would at
Okay.
least save KCSD, probably 4 or 5 months worth of expenses
Okay.
on that. Like I said, I'll volunteer a day if I can get some extra hands and muscle just getting water off the trailer. I mean, everybody here
Okay.
knows how heavy a case of water is.
Then I'll get a hold of Crystal Geyser tomorrow and talk with them and then see if they can step in for us for the next few months, or at least fill up the container. And then I will get a hold of Dawn at Gardeners and make arrangements with them to make the delivery.
So they
Because
charge
Crystal
you.
Geyser can't deliver it. And I'll pay for Dawn to deliver it. I'm not worried about that. That's no big deal.
We just need to, as I say with that, I mean, the KCSD can probably pay for the delivery on that. We just need to, actually put that to a vote.
Okay.
It's easier for them to come out, just one truck. I mean, I can go get 2 pallets with my trailer, but past that, I'm getting a little heavy.
No, it'd be easier, I think, if we just had Dawn deliver them all at once, wouldn't it? And fill the Connex box back up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I think Dawn
Yes,
can
what-
bring 6. I think Dawn can bring 6 pallets out on the truck.
Yeah, so wouldn't that be,
So-
that would, if that's okay with everybody, yeah, I'm sure I'd get them to do that.
So Alice, if you can reach out to Crystal Geyser, that'd be awesome. Let us know what you find out, and then Karen, Bailey, and I will set up a special meeting, and we'll get some things moving forward, just for either funding or for paying for transport for the water, because I think that's
Okay.
something the KCSD.
I know
do.
I know I can get, that's not an issue. I know I can get free water for you guys, for the town out here. We quit taking the water because John Luke, he comes home with water all the time anyway, and I don't use the big gallons except to cook with. I drink out the small ones because I can't lift the gallons anymore. So yeah, it's awful, but yeah. So
Let
yeah, I
us
can
know-
do that.
Let us know what you
I'll
find out.
text as soon as I find out something. I'll text you and let you know. It should be a day or two.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you, Alice. Moving through to financial health here. I'll get through these slides. So cash balance right now for KCSD is about 88,000. We're short 7,797. State grants for the fiscal year have been about 97,000 that have been received. And then customer payments have been about 25,726. And then you have the monthly operator cost there again is at 2,500 for McMoore there. Then of course there's the usual other operating expenses. So we'll touch on those on the next financial slide. But emergency response is continued to be down. It was a little more the past quarter, just with a few of the leaks there, and then but a lot of those were addressed by ICS as well, and that was just encompassed in their fee. They got covered by TWR, so haven't seen a massive uptick in more costs or anything there, which has been great. And then we have about $3,500 that are still pending reimbursement from the state and O&M funds right now.
Good.
And just moving on to the budget. So as you can see, the actual versus budgeted there, we are much under the spending for state grants than expected. We're only about halfway. We're just wrapping up Q3 here. And so that's really good to see. It's just been a lot of reduced costs needed for the past year. That state grants does include the bottled water as well. So that's where you see a big difference. So looking through, otherwise, general budget seems to be on track. The professional and special services is again much less than we'd expect, we'd expect at the 75% right now, but we're only at 40. So
It's.
that's the more costs.
Okay.
So yeah, we're doing much better than we had budgeted for. That was taking into account a lot of the emergency fees earlier in our administrator tenure, and then also with the previous operator, some of those costs. So we averaged them all out for this budget, but next budget will be a lot lower. So it'll be good for CST to see now that costs have come down a lot as operating side of things. And then otherwise, yeah, we just have a few other expenses there with utilities. That's running right on track as expected. General operating expense, the rest. So water services are also looking good. It looks like we're actually having more payments come in than expected, but that's due to likely the rate increase. So we're at 25,725 customer payments. We budgeted 30, so it will come in a bit over there. Right. So did anybody have any questions just on financials there? As we are just getting to the end here.
Just confirms my thing of we do have money to do something if we need to.
Yeah.
Not saying we spend it all, but $90,000 in the soon to be $90,000 in the coffers.
It's a good healthy amount. All right, so our next community meeting, will be July 21st, as usual, on that third Tuesday of the month. Emergency line is here as always with Golden State. Everybody's aware of how you can reach us as well individually. Got my number and contacts, and of course our office line there. And I did want to reiterate that Keeler admin at PPNG. So not only is that that's the login for the water metering, but that also will reach a whole number of us. So when you email that, it'll come to myself, Tanya, Steve, Brianna gets it as well, our outreach person, and Clarissa as well from billing. So just make sure that if anybody needs to email us and has to reach us, like emergency, that email will always hit a number of us in case it's after hours
or someone's out. It still gets to people.
Yeah.
So it's
Whoever's
the best one to
covering
use. So it's a good one to use. Even if you're going to email someone specific, CCing that one.
That wraps all the updates we had. So I just want to open it up to the board or any folks, any questions for us. We also have Andrew Forbes here from DDW. So if you have questions for him, please. It's great to have him here in person. So thank you.
I was wondering on the bottled water, if I think we might have a temporary solution, which would be great. But if we just applied for water and not for staffing, if we're doing the volunteering, would that have an effect?
I don't. My answer is I don't know. I can tell you what I think. I think that they put a cap on the amount of bottled water they're giving out based on a time frame, not based off of monetary amount. So the amount to deliver to you guys, if it was $9,000 each time versus another system that's $2,000, still 2.5 years. Kind of for all systems. It was like a blanket application. I'm trying to think of what I want to say. I think keep your ears peeled for the next 2 months. There could be some changes. I know that's not what anybody wants to hear. Give it some time, but could be some changes. Things are moving around within our organization. So yeah, there will be maybe changes. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hopeful.
Well, I do know that they wanted to see some willingness on our part, and I don't know about the bottled water.
For everything they keep asking for, I think we've shown willingness from that. And at this point, it's their turn to show their cards and do something, not ours.
Well, I'm hoping that we're going to get a solution and that we're going to be a success story.
Yeah.
So anything that we can do.
That's my goal. I don't think you were here when I introduced myself. I try to connect so when I talk in terms of funding,
I don't talk to you a couple of times through.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I don't work with the same big entity, but I'm not with our division of financial assistance, so I don't play with the funds at all.
Right.
I also don't. I am in our division of drinking water. I'm not with the regulatory office, so I'm not the one that's coming out here being like, hey, you guys are out of compliance, here's your fine. I try to bridge the gap between the two, and my primary assignments are small failing being water systems that don't serve water that meets primary or secondary maximum contaminant levels, or have kind of overarching force velocity issues. Anything that happens with small water systems that makes them break. My job is pretty much to help small failing disadvantaged communities and schools receive clean water. So
yeah, I recognize your voice from other meetings, and I was the one that was advocating very heavily against what we're charging LADWP a couple meetings ago when we were doing the rate,
I gotcha.
the water rates,
Yeah.
like that. And I think we talked a little bit through the owl. So
yeah, you guys are metering now, right? So I guess what I would say, like, I think you mentioned you like the flat rate. I think implementing a tiered rate structure at some point, super smart. Because if you guys all are the ones that are using, or if like 90% of you are using X many gallons, you're paying the tier 1 flat rate. Anybody that's using over that, you could charge them exponentially more, depending on how much extra it is. And then if it loses significantly more, you could just go higher. So I think that kind of fulfills the spirit of like, hey, we like our flat rate, but then also like, hey, so-and-so is using a ton of water, but if we have to put in centralized treatment and pay for the centralized treatment, you're charging the people that should be paying for that because the water's continuously
What
using
about the people who only use a small amount compared to who use a lot?
He's saying that you'd be paying very little compared to someone,
That's what he's
the
saying.
person who's using 3,000. No, it'd be a tiered rate.
Yeah.
So
Only if you use too much, right? Or
so there'd be like 3 tiers. So like if you used a gallon a day, you'd be charged tier 1. If you use 5 gallons a day, you'd be tier 2. 10 gallons would be whatever.
Yeah.
So there'd be a base rate for not
Low usage.
autonomy, but
Yeah.
low usage that you're not using. Yeah, which in its own terms, from having dealt with it personally before on my own houses, there'd have to be some rules and structure put into place for like a water leakage, because yes, there's water usage, but if it's not usage, it's a water leakage.
Mhm.
You know, because I place I lived before, I backed over a sprinkler valve and didn't know it, and it ran for 3 days, and it was like 8,000 gallons. And went to the water company. I just had to do like a hardship application. They were like, oh, okay, this is what happened. This is the approximate. They cut that. But just things to think of as
those
you go.
rates are on meters for
Because that meter was spinning away. So
that's something I'd highly recommend. I mean, I assume at some point it'll probably come down the pipeline if centralized treatment's installed, because there's no way to reasonably pay for it. Especially if you have, I'm going to use an example. You have like I'm not saying you do. You have one person in Keeler that's like the marijuana grower, and they're using half of the water every day. You want to charge those people for the treated water. They're using the treated water. They're not using the water that's going out to spray down all of the dust stuff.
Yeah. Well, that was my argument from when we talked before through this, and when Steve was here. I think it was during that meeting. Was for the way the price rate is right now. Since we are a flat rate, all the residential customers are a flat rate. A commercial account should be charged substantially more. So
yeah, I think I am on. Maybe I shouldn't take sides. I don't think like I think waiting for treatment to be put in. That is like the key.
No, and I agree with that, but with the rate increases from what we were talking about, like during that meeting with the state wanting to see some like willingness on our side and us raising the rates and the percentages that are going up.
Oh yeah.
Is that like my argument was Great Basin and LADWP are commercial customers. Those rates should be higher even as a flat rate, even over residential, regardless of the usage. And my example is in my business, which is fiber optic internet, we may charge a residential customer $40 a month for 1 gig internet. A commercial account that's 1 gig internet is $400.
Oh wow.
The rate increases for commercial, and it's not just because you're commercial. It's because of the possibility of usage that you have.
I gotcha.
Because if they decide to pull a water truck up there and they're filling a 4,000 gallon water truck up 10 times a day, It's not that they do it, it's that they
They
can do it.
can do it. Yeah.
And there's no checks and balances in right now because it's not a metered or a monitored system.
When was I guess, sorry, I get tripped up on my words because you're making me all nervous. But,
I will say the big difference there that I would see is only just that CPUC has their whole form of regulation for private entities. And are you guys monitored or regulated by PUC?
No, not for our. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, we're a private
Well,
company, but yeah.
Well, under here with Prop 218, that's the big issue. That Prop 218, we have to be able to prove that it costs more to deliver water to that customer than to the other customers. And if we can't, then it can end in litigation. Now, that was like the big thing that we were coming up against. There isn't currently a way for us to prove that it costs more to pump one drop of water over there and serve those
Well,
connections.
it's not that it costs more to pump the water there, it's that they have the possibility to use the water.
And they do.
And frankly, if they don't want to pay the rate, then we turn the water off. Like, I hate saying that, but we turn the water off. It's LAWP. They can bring water in from the Keeler plant.
Yeah.
that's another reason that like water, like usage, like charging based off of usage in the future, I think is a good thing.
No, and I agree with that.
Like that's like the state water board, we always advocate for like you charge based off the water used. And I think that's going to be a requirement someday, just the way that everything rolls out.
What's the deal with meters in?
Well, it's only fair.
Yeah.
I went through the grapevine that the meter installer in Lone Pine walked off the job.
Alice has her hand up.
I don't think anybody heard anything about that.
Really?
Yeah, I guess he got frustrated with something that either the county or somebody was doing it. Maybe it was a contractor that was putting in the meters in Lone Pine. My niece works at the county office, and she said something about that.
No, I
She's
didn't
not
know.
on the board here.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Right.
So I don't know
Wonder who was
what they're
doing it for.
actually.
Sorry, Alice, I saw you had your hand up there as well.
Yeah, that's one thing, the irrigation rate. What are what's going out for irrigation?
That's just you mean
The
for
current-
Great Basin, or just
No,
irrigation?
irrigation, just
The
irrigation.
15. It's just the 15.
Me?
Just the standard standby connection fee.
No. I mean, how much water are the irrigation
How
rates?
much water are they using?
Yeah,
We don't know it's the same meter.
It's on the same meter, so we don't have a tally of what's being used on the irrigation. Unless you mean Great Basin, then we have that, but I don't have the numbers in front of me right now.
no, I was talking about the two in town that are on the irrigation rate, the residential irrigation
I'd
rate.
have to look at what those meters are using.
Yeah, because I'm curious as to what they're using as per everybody else. Because under the Prop 218, I know when the board did the irrigation rate, it was separate from the first two. And there was no letter sent out. Dan Dickman and Sharon Cummings were supposed to go around and talk to everybody in town. But upon reading 218, they were supposed to send a letter out. There was a 45-day period and something else. So that might need to be looked into if that was done properly or not for that last rate.
Different hasn't been on the board.
Thank you. We are hitting 7:30 here. So, well, no, we're over 7:30. So we've been here for an hour and a half. Just want to respect everybody's time. Do you guys have more questions for us? The stands. I'm sure plenty going on.
Oh,
But
I need a map. The map
Yeah.
that they use to,
I'll send it over.
okay, I appreciate that.
We update exactly the condition assessment of each one of those as well. And just have them
I've got
updated in
about
the same
pretty
spreadsheet.
much what they did, how many turns they did, all that stuff.
Yeah, we got- Yes, we've got that all written down as well. So I'll send it over and make sure we have
Yeah,
the same.
I just don't have the same numbers on my map as they do it on their map.
Yeah.
So I can't correlate everything
Yeah.
with my map and the other, and the older map.
So yeah, I'll send you over the update.
Okay, I appreciate that.
So Hamish, basically, what is the next step?
Next up right now is monitoring the meter usage. We're going to look at those top 10, 12, whoever are the exponentially higher users, start contacting them about their high usage. So if it's something that they can resolve on their side, it's a plumbing issue, if something's left on. And then we'll go from there just on resolving some of that extra high demand. But then all those numbers are going to be basically put into the sizing of a centralized treatment plant. So we'll have a cost estimate, what that is, what expected O&M would look like, and
Okay.
What's the
so-
time frame on that?
looking at having that all together, you drop by July.
Okay.
So
A little bit of
by the
water.
next meeting,
Yeah.
because we want like at least 3 months of data.
Sure. Try to get it averaged out.
Make sure it's
Which-
not.
Well, and some, I mean, think about too is that, and I'm, I'm not one for advocating for more time, but, summer usage, September might be your better bet to try to look at those numbers because July, August, September, those numbers are gonna go up regardless.
We'll at least see who the big water users are to start those conversations, but we might need more data to run realistic numbers on.
So the
Usage.
repairs that you were talking about or replacements, whatever,
Yeah.
that's not gonna happen until after July because of the budget.
That would be my recommendation. Yeah.
If
As
we
in-
don't,
as
we
in
have
for
to
the
pay
budget.
for it out of pocket and then
And
wait.
then
You
to
guys
get-
have to pay for it. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys.
Board, yeah.
The board. Yeah, okay, so
I ain't got.
Luckily,
not test the hose.
Yeah, but it does seem like maybe we get to have a little priority, or get to suggest some of the priority valves or
Yeah.
talk about
Yeah.
it. I know Dan Dickman has some, thoughts about what also might not have been on that map.
Yeah.
Yeah, we correlated our maps at one time, but I haven't talked to them in several years. And, we both went around town and counted all the service boxes. There was only like 60 some odd that they had on the list that were reported. And I put in probably 28 or 30 myself. And none of those were added onto the list. So Dan Dick and I got together, we made our own separate list, and he knew some were somewhere, and I knew were somewhere at. So we kind of made put our map together.
We're gonna do that again.
Yeah.
I'll send you over the big numbers that we have,
Yeah.
mission assessment and everything. So cross-reference all that. All right. Yeah, but yeah, absolutely. In terms of priority ones, and like I said, Zay and ICS, they address the ones that could isolate the highest number of residences in town. Basically, within a grid, as much of a grid format as you could get.
Mhm. Important, that's important.
Yeah.
And the fire.
Well, so they're usable, but we can't. If there's an emergency, those are usable, but some of them are leaking, so they should be replaced eventually. So as far as priority, it can be used.
Some of them aren't leaking, you just don't shut off. Or there's
The
too much.
Are you talking fire stands?
Standard. Right,
Yeah,
that's
I
the,
know. a number
like,
of those.
if it couldn't open, that would be different than when it's open, it's leaking.
Okay, that's good to know.
And I think also the priority was priority of testing, right?
Yeah.
When we were going through it, so they all got tested. So the high versus low priority was during testing, so they all got tested. They flushed them and tested all the valves, including the fire stands.
I am working with my boss. Actually, I'll talk to her later, so we don't keep this going.
No worries. All right.
Okay.
Are there any questions from online? Ready? Otherwise, thanks everybody for your time. Appreciate it.
Night.
Thanks everyone.
Bye.
Bye.